Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, because right now they are standing at a massive, massive crossroads. You see, a single injury last season wasn't just a setback, it was a domino. One that tipped over and started a chain reaction that is now forcing the front office to stare down two gigantic problems at once: a franchise-defining quarterback dilemma and a coaching crisis that's brewing at the worst possible time. And here's the thing, these aren't two separate issues. As we're about to see, they are tangled together in a really, really dangerous way.
All right, before we get into all that, you know the drill. If you're a fan of digging deep into what's really happening in the NFL, make sure you hit that subscribe button for NFL Nexus. We'd also genuinely love to hear your take on this whole Colts mess, so jump down in the comments and let us know what you think they should do. Okay, so how in the world did the Colts find themselves in this spot? To really feel the weight of the decisions they're facing, we have to rewind the clock. We have to go back to a season that started with so much hope, a season that honestly looked like it was the answer they've been searching for years. Man, for the first 10 games of the 2025 season, it felt like the Colts had finally found their guy. They had stability at the most important position in all of sports. And Daniel Jones wasn't just some game manager out there. He was absolutely balling out in Shane Steichen's system. He was making smart throws, he was accurate, and most importantly, he was winning football games. It really felt like that long, painful search for a franchise QB after Andrew Luck was over. But then, disaster. A torn Achilles, one of the most brutal injuries in sports. It didn't just end his season, it took the Colts' entire blueprint for the future and just detonated. And this is the part we absolutely have to understand. This is so much bigger than just plugging in a backup for a few weeks. That one moment, that one single play on the field became the trigger for every single tough, franchise-altering decision the Colts are wrestling with right now. Think about it. Every choice they make, from $100 million contracts to the stability of their coaching staff to their entire draft strategy, it all stems directly from the fallout of that one injury. So with Daniel Jones's future now just a giant, unavoidable question mark hanging over the entire organization, the front office has to do its due diligence. They have to look under every single rock for a potential path forward. And that brings us to a really surprising option, a true dark horse candidate that pretty much nobody is talking about. And that candidate is Malik Willis. Now hold on, I know what you're probably thinking. The guy from the Titans? No way. And you're right, his start in Tennessee was, it was rough. He looked lost, but then something really interesting happened. He gets traded to Green Bay, and suddenly he's out of the spotlight. He's sitting behind Jordan Love, learning in Matt LaFleur's system, and something just clicked. When he finally got a chance to play, he looked like a completely different quarterback. And now he's hitting free agency as this fascinating high-upside reclamation project. And look, this isn't just me throwing a wild name out there for fun. The actual case for the Colts to take a serious look at Malik Willis really comes down to three key factors. And each one, it makes a little more sense than the last. Let's break them down. Reason number one, what he actually did on the field for Green Bay. I mean, just look at these numbers from his 3 starts. He wasn't just decent. He was lights out efficient. Completing almost 79% of your passes is absolutely elite. But for me, the number that screams off the page is that big, fat 0 in the interception column. For a young guy with his kind of athletic talent, a guy who could easily try to play hero ball and force things, to show that kind of poise and ball security, that is a massive green flag for a front office. And then you stock his rushing ability on top of that, over 260 yards and 3 more scores on the ground. You're not just looking at potential anymore. You're looking at real, tangible, high-level production. Now for reason number 2, and honestly, this might be the biggest selling point of all. It's the absolutely golden situation he would walk right into in Indianapolis. I mean, you can make a strong argument that there is no better, more supportive place for a young quarterback to land in the entire NFL. Just imagine, you're Malik Willis. You've got Michael Pittman Jr., a true number 1 receiver who will go up and win those 50-50 balls for you. You've got Josh Downs working the middle of the field, Alec Pierce stretching the defense vertically, and, oh, by the way, if you get in trouble, you can just turn around and hand the ball to an absolute superstar in Jonathan Taylor, a guy who completely warps how a defense has to play. All of this behind a line anchored by a monster, Quentin Nelson, and run by an offensive genius in Shane Steichen. Come on, it's a perfect setup. And the third and final piece of the puzzle, it's always about the money, isn't it? It's the financial upside. Let's be real. Daniel Jones, even coming off that injury, is going to get a big contract. But Malik Willis, he represents a huge financial bargain. We're talking about a short-term prove-it type of deal, somewhere in the ballpark of $17.5 to $20 million a year.
So for that price, the Colts get a younger, more dynamic quarterback who doesn't have that long injury history. That kind of savings is massive. It frees up millions in cap space you can use to go get an elite pass rusher or lock up another one of your own young stars. It's all about flexibility.
So, when you put it all together, this is the fundamental choice the Colts are facing. It all boils down to what kind of risk you're willing to stomach. With Daniel Jones, you have the known commodity. You know for a fact that he can play at a high level in your system with your players. But you are betting everything on him making a full recovery from one of the toughest injuries an athlete can have. With Malik Willis, you're betting on that incredible athletic potential, and you're getting him at a great price. But the bet is based on a tiny 3-game sample size. It's the classic dilemma, the proven but damaged vet versus the unproven but exciting challenger.
Now, as if making a franchise-altering decision like that wasn't hard enough, a brand new threat has just popped up that could change the entire calculation. Because this whole offseason saga, it turns out, isn't just about who's throwing the football. All of a sudden, it's about who's calling the plays.
Yep, the news broke that the Philadelphia Eagles have officially asked for permission to interview Colts offensive coordinator Jim Bob Cooter for their OC job. And let me be clear, this isn't just some team looking to steal a position coach. Cooter is a foundational piece of the Colts' offensive success. His potential departure creates a massive, unexpected headache for this organization at the absolute worst possible time. So why would losing him be such a huge deal? Well, let's just look at the results. The offense that he and Shane Steichen built together was elite in 2025. We're talking top 10 in both passing and scoring. He was a key part of designing the run scheme that got Jonathan Taylor back to looking like his old self, rushing for almost 1,600 yards. This is not just some guy wearing a headset. He is one of the two main architects who built one of the most effective offenses in the entire league from scratch.
And here's where it gets kind of wild. This move from the Eagles isn't coming out of thin air. It's just the latest chapter in this fascinating, intertwined coaching history between Indianapolis and Philadelphia. Seriously, check this out. It's like this bizarre coaching exchange program that's been going on for years. It starts when the Eagles' OC, Frank Reich, becomes the Colts' head coach. Then his OC in Indy, Nick Sirianni, leaves to go back to Philly and be their head coach. Then Sirianni hires Shane Steichen as his OC, who then leaves to become, you guessed it, the Colts' head coach. These two franchises are just constantly rating each other's offensive talent. And Jim Bob Cooter is simply the next move in this high-stakes game of chess.
So you have the quarterback problem and you have the potential coordinator problem. How do these two things connect? Well, this is where the Colts' whole offseason plan, their entire sales pitch to any quarterback, starts to look incredibly fragile. This is where you see just how precarious this situation really is. Hey, remember that golden offensive situation we were just talking about? The one that we said was the perfect landing spot for any quarterback? Well, the very foundation of that appeal, the smart, QB-friendly system, the powerful run game, the entire philosophy, it was all built by two guys working together, Steichen and Cooter. They are the architects.
And that leads us to the ultimate question that's now hanging over this entire franchise. If the co-architect of that amazing system walks out the door, is the situation still golden? All of a sudden, your sales pitch to a guy like Malik Willis, or even to a recovering Daniel Jones, is a lot weaker. The stability and the proven success of the coaching staff, which was a huge selling point, is now totally up in the air.
Okay, let's bring it back to reality for a quick second. We have to be honest here. Our source material from Yardbarker makes a great point. A move for a guy like Willis is probably a long shot. NFL GMs are just not big risk takers by nature. And betting your entire franchise on a quarterback with only 3 good starts, that is a monumental gamble. But they leave the door cracked just a little bit with that one line. Don't entirely rule it out. And we all know, in the NFL, you never ever say never. So when it's all said and done, the Colts are basically trapped between two very different and very massive gambles. They're stuck between the risk of the total unknown with Malik Willis. Was that 3-game stretch real or was it a fluke? And the known, very real physical risk with Daniel Jones. Can his body actually hold up after an injury that's severe on top of his other injuries? It's a gamble on unproven potential on one side and a gamble on a difficult physical recovery on the other.
This one single question really sums up their entire offseason, and the answer is going to define this franchise for the next 5 years, easily. Do you gamble on the explosive, untapped potential of a guy like Willis, hoping you just found a diamond in the rough for a bargain price? Or do you bet on the proven talent of Jones, the guy you know can win in your building, and just pray that his body can hold up for a full 17 games? The answer to that question is going to echo in Indianapolis for a very, very long time. All right, so that's my breakdown. Now I want to hear from you. It's your turn. You're the GM. What's the move? Do you sign Willis? Do you pay Jones? Or is there a third option in the draft that we haven't even talked about? Lay out your entire off-season plan for me down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. And of course, subscribe to NFL Nexus so you don't miss what's coming next.
And one last thing before you go. If you're looking for a cool way to help support the channel, we just launched a brand new line of NFL-themed coloring books. They're awesome for fans of all ages, for your kids, your grandkids, or, let's be honest, they're pretty relaxing for us adults too. The link to check them out is right down there in the description. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.